What's good, YouTube? You know where it is. You know, City God to the building. Ain't shit. Today, this tutorial will be mostly about having good sound selection when it comes to making your beats, whether it's dancehall, whether it's hip hop, whatever the genre is. But we're gonna mostly be focusing on dancehall beats for today. So this is like, what I'm saying, this is like part one for good sound selection when it comes to dancehall beat, creating melodies and stuff like that. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into it. Alright, first, when it comes down to when it comes down to like good sound selection, you gotta find the plugin that you gotta find a plugin that you wanna use and make sure while using that said plugin, make sure it has, make sure it has the sounds that you're actually looking for. Like however you feel, like whatever you feel. Whether you're thinking of a specific type of beat that you're making or something like that. You wanna say for example you're making like a summer dancehall summer type beat, right? And you want to go for, that when going for a dancehall summer type beat, you want to pull up some plucks, nice piano melody. All depends, you know what I'm saying? But for me, when selecting good sounds for making dancehall beat, my sound selection first is mostly like the plucks, or I go for something like a pad vibe or bells. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mostly go for like plucks, right? Because that's like a good way to start, right? So now we're gonna get into it. I choose the pluck from Harmless, right? So we're gonna get into creating a summer dancehall beat, right? So this is like, this is just mostly a tutorial for like using good sounds, sound selection, making like a specific type of beat. So we'll be focusing on, the summer vibe and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and lay down our first melody. Make sure to adjust your BPM to 102 and set your scale that you want to work off of. You feel me? So I'm gonna go ahead and create my chord progressions. So let's get it. I always start off, using like triads. Like three notes. Once you have a chord like this with three notes, it's called triad. I like starting off like this. So let's go. Let me turn the delay off. the melody that you're looking for. Once you have a good sound selection, it'll be easy for you to create whatever you want, however you want it with good sound selection. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want a summer vibe, you want to know how to create the summer vibe. You got to know what a summer dancehall beat sounds like. You know what I'm saying? You got to know what it sounds like so you can create how you want it. You feel me? I'm saying, like, if you listen to the chord progression, you'll hear this a lot in like different dancehall summer beats. But what I do is I add like a unique melody on top of the chord progression, so it'll make it sound different. You feel me? I could even have the plucks, you know what I'm saying, strumming and stuff like that. You feel me? I could even have it strumming so it could play different. Strum your chords like that, or the melody on top of the chords, and make it sound different. Add add that spice to your chord progression, make it sound way different. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like a unique chord progression right there when creating the summer vibe. You can also like, you know what I'm saying, do it inversion technique and adjust your notes how you want. You can even drop it down an octave, or you go up an octave, give it a more pop vibe. Or what you could do is just raise the top notes. You just raise the top notes like this. You know what I'm saying? But for this, I don't really want to go too advanced. I just want to just keep it basic. Now, what you want to do next after creating your chord progression and having your little melody with it, you based off of the knowledge you have of what a summer beat sounds like, you want to find the next sound that you want to add to it that will mix with the pluck that will sound good, right? And in most summer beats, you'll tend to find you have like a string instrument within the whole, you know what I'm saying, melody, right? But you want to keep in mind that you keep all your plugins on the same key that the previous one is in. If you're on the plug and your plug is in D sharp, make sure whenever you open another plugin or so, make sure it's in D sharp, because sometimes you'll probably be playing it and you probably feel like, oh, it's off key or stuff like that. Now I felt like a string is needed, so I chose the best string that I could find that I know has, you know, because you know, like all the strings are, you know what I'm saying, like with different plugins and stuff like that, strings are really different. You know what I'm saying? So I use expand and I got a string out of it that I find, you know what I'm saying, that, okay, I find it useful and it sounds good. So I'll just use it, you feel me? So let's add the notes in. I'll follow off of the chord progression that I have on my previous melody that's within the background. I'll follow off that and add my strings accordingly. playing that and it's still not satisfied, like change the root note that you have your sounds in and play it again till you find a nice sweet sound that you're looking for, and then you just go ahead and work with it. Alright, for me, that sounds alright. Now, I feel like a lead is needed, but what I'm gonna do to boost my brain to think outside the box to create something unique along with this whole melody, sometimes I just add a dark bass to it. You know that synthetic dark bass vibe that you mostly hear? Like, it's one of the most used sounds in every single genre. You want to make sure you have, like, you know what I'm saying, that dark synthetic deep bass type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? And I got the best sound for it out of Massive X. You can get it using silent. You can even custom create that bass once you know how to sound design. You feel me? But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the bass that I already have, and then I'm gonna add it to the melody here. You know what I'm saying? You can even switch the notes up a little when creating your bass to give it a whole different feel. But let's see what we get here. You know what I'm saying? This right here, to create one next thing, to like get your bass in sync with the whole melody sounding good and stuff, like, remember to always follow the bass notes. If you're following the bass notes and it doesn't sound like it's in tune or in match with it, try using the middle note or the top note, or even work the notes in between, or mess around until you get a note that is, you know what I'm saying, in sync with the whole vibe and everything. Now, this doesn't sound like the dark bass that I'm looking for. It's the deep C, deep space. That was the one. That's gonna help you figure out the next sound you want to use to it to give that a whole different vibe, right? Now I'm gonna add a lead to it, but I'm gonna do some touches to the lead, right? Now, when it comes to adding a lead, right, you want to make sure, as I said before, sound selection is finding the best sounds that you can find that will help your beats sound good, which will also be very much of a big help when it comes to mixing and loving your beats. Because nowadays you don't really have to do a whole lot of mixing more than just loving your beats, because you're going to be using good sounds. Now, I'm going to choose a lead. I'll probably use one from Silent, which is a good one. I could use one from Expand, which is also a good one. And I can use one from GMS, which is also a good one. But I feel like I would try the one that's in Expand, right? So I'm gonna go pull up the Quake Express lead. It's in soft leads, and I'm gonna go here. It's called Quake Express. You can search that lead up, right? So now I'm gonna adjust this a little bit, put it right here. Right, so let's see what I can come up with here. Let's see what I can work with. good. That sounds good. That sounds good. Like for these, you gotta like follow the chord progression that you have to create the nice lead melody. Like follow off of your chord progression, and trust me, it'll work out well. Like that's why you have to lay out your chord progression and make sure that your chord progression sounds good. Once your chord progression sounds good, any melody following after that will sound good. You feel me? So the last two notes that I added right here, by listening to it, you can tell there's going to be a change when he's going over to the next two bars, right? I'm not going to do the same creation that I have here and copy it and paste it over to the other side. That'll be like it's just in like a whole loop. I don't want that. So I adjusted the last note to let it sound different. If you notice, it's the same two notes, but if you look closely, I let it slide from, because you know the lead already has a slide effect to it. So what I did was let it slide from G sharp to A sharp. But when it comes here, I let it slide from A sharp to G sharp. It gives a different sound. But when you're cutting the edges off a little bit, it helps give like, you know what I'm saying, a whole different slide pitch. You know what I'm saying? If I foot it like this, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna go all the way out. But you give it a little space, it's gonna drop right back. It's gonna give it a little drop right back to G sharp quick right here. But it gives a sweet vibe, right? Right, so based off of how this sounds, you're gonna have to find a note down here that corresponds with this. Because you're gonna go down with a pitch a little bit to give it a whole different vibe. You feel me? Sound good, but let me listen to it again. I feel like I want to change something. So I can get a different sound, so I can get a different feel to, you know what I'm saying, help me finish that lead. Because sometimes you gotta, like, you know what I'm saying, have your own techniques to help you finish a certain melody when you're creating it. always good to test out so you can, you know what I'm saying, make some changes to get a whole different feel. I'm saying that's how you use, you know what I'm saying, choose your sounds, right? So this is just like sound selection part one, summer dancehall melodies. You feel me? Like this is just a sound selection part one here, right? So everything that you see that's going on here was created off of using good sound selection. So that's really, really important when it comes to sound selection, right? So the next thing that I'm gonna do is um I may finish the beat, but I'm not gonna go into the whole mixing section yet. I'm saying I may just do that in another tutorial because mostly what I'm showing right here is just how to create your melodies when, you know what I'm saying, going on a specific type of beat, on choosing the sounds you need. Because say I'm creating like a dancehall summer beat as I'm doing right now, I'll find the sounds that I need to help me create the best summer vibe that I want. So this is just an example of, you know what I'm saying, of choosing the right sounds that you need and knowing, having the knowledge of what a summer dancehall beat sounds like. You can even add vocals to this, make it sound even better. You know what I'm saying, vocal chops and stuff like that. Let me see if I can find one to add to it that will probably make it sound good. I don't think that will work. Um, Let me use one from this kit right here. Alright, maybe I'll use this and see how it goes. Let me see. I'm saying like adding vocals to it can help. I'm saying like doing all that can help, but I don't feel like a vocal chop will fit, or maybe I don't have the right vocal chop. You know what I'm saying? So that is important. See, right there, choosing a sound to add to it doesn't sound good to me. I won't use it. That's an important part of sound selection. Knowing That's another important part of sound selection, I should say. Knowing what sound to use, what not to use, and stuff like that. Like once you have the knowledge like that, your beats will sound a whole lot better. Your melodies will probably sound a whole lot better. You know what I'm saying? Right. So this is it for this tutorial on sound selection part one, creating dancehall summer vibe. You know what I'm saying? This is just part one. Part two would be on, you know what I'm saying? Part two would be on the other parts of the sound selection would be like your drums, 808s, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So this is just part one, sound selection, melodies, you know what I'm saying? So thanks for tuning in to the City Guys channel and watching this tutorial. I want to thank y'all for doing that. Thanks for support and stuff like that. Really appreciate it. I want to shout out to Young Chops. Trust me, Young Chops Entertainment be going crazy. Young Chops be going crazy. The Prince Beats be going crazy. You know what I'm saying? There are other few out there that be going crazy. I don't remember the names. I want to shout out to Janero or Jamero or something like that. Young Chops, you already know how it go. And I got my G Magic Don, you know what I'm saying, on IG. Shout out to State Gangster, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to everybody that been hitting me up, showing their support, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get that love back. Shout out to my guy from Trinidad that hit me up a day ago. You feel me? Shout out to everybody that been hitting me up and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for all that. So, this is it for this tutorial. So, stay tuned for part two. You know we out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Just hit that like button, subscribe. You know how we do. Support the channel. Let me grow. We out.